Hello students, today we are going to read about a new chapter which is next chapter in your textbook, and that is chapter number 12, friction. Here we can see two situations are there. In the first situation you can see a boy is there who slips down and the other boy is walking beside him. Second situation is there, you have kept a book on the table and we try to move it. Okay, so we see that when the book moves, after some time the book comes to rest. Here there is another situation. Here you can see that the ball comes to rest after rolling some time. The bicycle stops when we stop pedaling. Now in these situations we are able to conclude that when a thing is in motion, after some time it comes to rest automatically. Now why does they come to rest? It is the force of friction between the surface of the wheels of the bicycle and the surface of the ground that opposes the motion of the bicycle, opposes the motion of the ball, and opposes the motion of the book. Due to that, the bicycle and the ball and the book, they all come to rest. Now we can conclude that the force acting along the two surfaces in contact, which opposes the motion of one body over the other, is called the force of friction. Now I think so that you may have recalled that we have learnt about this force of friction in our earlier chapter also. Here you can see when the force of friction is more, then the body comes to rest, and the force of friction is less, then the result is that the boy falls down. Now we will read about what are the causes of friction. Here in this slide, look at it carefully. Now see, when we try to move one sandpaper over the other, the movement is not smooth. There is friction due to the interlocking of rough surfaces. Now the simple thing is there. In this slide you can see that when we try to move the wooden box, so it is very difficult to move it because it is a solid object and it has rough surfaces. Here you can see that the expanded views of the parts of the surface in the contact, they actually entangle with each other due to the presence of tiny hills and valleys on them and opposes the motion, and due to that only friction is opposing the motion. We can also say that the interlocking of the two surfaces opposes the motion of one body over another and gives rise to frictional force. Actually, the slide which you are looking here, it is the highly magnified diagram of the surface of wooden block and wooden table in contact with each other. Otherwise, we are not able to see these types of interlocking by our naked eyes. Here in this slide, you can see a spring balance. Now, the spring balance is used to measure the force acting on an object. It consists of a spring enclosed in a metal case. The spring balance works on the principle of stretching of spring when force is applied. More force is applied, more the spring will be extended. The extent by which the spring gets stretched is the measure of applied force. This measuring stretching of spring is indicated by the pointer, and the reading corresponding to the pointer on the scale gives the magnitude of the force. Now we will read about factors affecting friction. The force of friction depends upon the following two factors which you are seeing on your screen. First one is the nature of surface in contact with each other. For here you can take an example that if the rough surfaces are more, then the friction is more, and the surface is smooth, then less friction is there. Second is the weight of the body. If the weight of the body is more, then the friction is more, and if the weight of the body is less, then the friction is less. Okay students, this is all for today. and in the next video we will read about fluid friction and friction is a necessary evil.